people are offended at seeing what the AI can do. Well, I mean, it's the idea is to give it restraints so that it's very human-like, so that it's the strategy and the thinking side that it does better at. So that's the whole interest in self-learning, right? Is how long does it take this thing to become better than humans? And once it becomes better at that side of things, how much better? You know, we're not like, oh, look, it learned how to click faster, because that's why people are, you know, a little bit annoyed. But obviously this is an early form. It's not perfectly set up. They're still figuring things out. But that is indeed why people do get frustrated and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, people are saying a minute 42 into the stream. Okay, well, let's take a look at that real quickly here, shall we?
Zoomed out so that it could see the whole map at once. And so if you think about it, you know, what it's actually able to see is kind of depicted here in this kind of video. And AlphaStar is able to zoom out and see all of its own units at once, including all of their attributes such as health or shields. But in addition, it gets to see any enemy units which are not, which are actually visible. In other words, they're actually not obscured by fog of war, and they're not invisible. So anything which can be seen by a human player if they were to move their camera to that position, all of that information is available to AlphaStar straight away in this kind of zoomed out sense of the game. So you might say, well, you know, humans, when they play the game, they actually have to do something additional, which is to manage something which pro players call their economy of attention. They have to think about where they're going to click and where they're going to focus the camera on. And that's an important part of the game, to decide where to focus their camera and what they're going to see. So what we actually did was we analyzed how AlphaStar actually plays the game as well. And what we saw was that internally, even though it's seeing things in this kind of zoomed out view, it's actually having to manage something similar with this kind of implicit focus of attention.
Okay, fascinating. Yeah, so it can see the whole thing, but it has to move its screen around. As we could see, there was that screen display. So really interesting to see how it goes. Awesome. All right, guys, let's go. Game number 5. Let's see if he can get any revenge. He's down 0-4. His name is Team Liquid's TLO. An absolute legend of StarCraft here. Playing his off race. And up here in the top left in the blue, it's AlphaStar. Oh yeah, I don't think it's going to influence pro play. I mean, it might. I think it could influence pro play like when it's 1,000 times more evolved from now. But it really depends, doesn't it? Actually, it really depends how much effort they put into making it more human-like and how it plays. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. So people in chat right now, for people watching on YouTube, are discussing kind of how basically everyone's been joking. People can learn from overproducing probes. And everyone's backing that up by saying, well, Mana said he learned some things from watching. I think Mana was just being very diplomatic and nice about the fact that he kind of messed up against, or he learned something about the cheesy rushes, I think what he was more referring to, because I did watch that interview as well. And I don't I don't think it's to do with the overproducing probes. I think we all understand what was going on and with the overproducing probes, and I think this is still a very early form. I think if it becomes much more human-like in how it plays, but then also becomes a lot better, like it strategically is nowhere near the level of a human player just yet. And this is something, well, that's mine. I would say it's nowhere near it. I think if I Nexus rushed it, I would kill it. But I don't know. Maybe it would bug out. Maybe it wouldn't. Who knows? But no, I don't think it's strategically at that level, especially this version. I'm waiting to watch the Mana matches in full. But from what I'd seen in the Mana matches, it seemed like it was just doing way too much stuff at once. To the point where it's something where I was like, oh, this is like watching two Serals stacked on top of each other playing with 4 hands on crack. Like there's this moment which you guys will see when I cast the Mana series. There's this one moment where I was like, what? And it's funny because Roddy is just like, what? He's like, this is impossible. It's like, nobody could do this. Like, not even the best player in the world could do this, because it's insane what it's doing. So once it gets more human-like, I think we can learn some things. But I don't think it's going to be like, oh, just do what it says, right? It can help us ask some new questions, look at some new theories and stuff, but... What is this, guys? Oh my god. This is the cheesiest... Wait, and Dario's doing the same... What? They're both proxy gating each other. Oh my god, Dario's doing it in AlphaStar's main base. I guess I wonder if you watch the replays and he's like, you know, none of these bots has actually scouted its main properly. He's going to run back, but he doesn't realize he's being proxy gated as well. Oh my lord. Oh no! It came down and found it. I think his probe moved too far up. He's trying to build shield batteries there. Oh, Warp Gate's still a minute away. It gets found. Look at this. Even the Stalkers on the low ground helping out. One of them is bugging out a little bit. There we go. Does end up fixing that up. And oh no, you got to cancel this. Dario, cancel it. You're still in the game. Don't headbutt this. Don't headbutt it. Okay, he's going to try and trap these Stalkers on the low ground and see if he can make this work. And ooh, I mean, those Stalkers need to kill that pylon. If that pylon doesn't go down, Dario might still win this game. He could still actually do this, but those two gateways finishing on the other side of the map as well. Both players have Warp Gate about to finish. That Stalker will barely survive that pylon. Ooh, Warp Gate's finishing. Warp Gate is finishing right now for Dario. If he can morph them all into Warp Gates right now, he can get a warp in, maybe just barely, maybe just barely. There's no probe to repower this. Oh, AlphaStar, it's worth stacking the Stalker. It is worth stacking the Stalker. Kill, you've got to finish it. You've got to finish it. It gets it. Takes it and gets the Stalker away for now. Meanwhile, its Stalker's trying to counterattack. It's sending its own first Stalker warp, and it's going to depower Dario's two gateways. It's even using the probe. Oh, you cheesy bastard. It knows that's most of its production. Oh, I love it. Meanwhile, Dario in the back of the mineral line, but you know what? It says, screw it. I forced you off the line. Recall. It gets its own Stalkers at home so that it can both defend at home with the probe pull and the Stalkers and fight on the other side of the map. Nice micro from TLO. There's another 5 Stalkers and a Zealot on the other side of the map. AlphaStar, the cheese master today. It is going to be winning this fight. Dario microing pretty well, but oh, that Stalker's surrounded. Even though he kills the Stalker, he will be losing his own units, and Dario has to tap out. Get wrecked. And that's right, DeepMind self-learning AI. 5 different agents. 5-0 over TLO. Each of them had different predilections. That one was a filthy player with the cheesy build, but that's incredible. Let's take a look real quickly. Did that actually scout before putting down the gateway, or was that? I feel like this was always its plan. There's been very little reactive play, I feel, from AlphaStar. Like, it's not scouting once it's in the mid game, but it seems to just always be like, nah, this is what I do. So it still seems like it's relatively simplistic. Hey, this one's scouted. Okay. This one's scouted. I think the other ones would often come across with the probe, but then would turn around and chase the scouting probe of TLO. Or it would scout the gateways and then just leave. This time it went in and at least saw the core. And then it just is like, nope, time to get ya. Now, did it chrono boost Warp Gate at all? I'm very curious. It does. Yeah, chrono boosted Warp Gate a bit, which makes sense for its build. Cool. That's awesome. GG. Well played. Hats off to AlphaStar there. Of course, a bit of an easy match we did. I was saying before we put boxing gloves on TLO, so it wasn't bare fist against the baby AI. Let's be real. We're like tied his legs up as well. We're like, Dario, you don't get to use your legs. And he's like, what? We're like, yeah, no legs. And you've got like gigantic foam boxing gloves on. And he's like, well, it's still a baby robot. I'll be good. And the baby robot just like walks up and just starts like biting its way through his ankle bone. He's like, what are you doing? This is way more brutal than I thought it would be. And yeah. Damn. Oh, GG. What's happening, guys? Oh, my man. GG's. Thanks for watching that, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Will I cast miners games? I will, not today, though. I don't have time. Gonna have to get to those after the weekend, unfortunately.